Kazakhstan, a country that sits at the crossroads of history and legend, stretching across the heart of Central Asia. The name alone conjures images of endless golden plains, windswept grasslands, and ancient mysteries waiting to be uncovered. It's a place where the horizon seems to go on forever, and every sunrise feels like the start of a new story. When I told my friends I was heading there with just $700 in my pocket, they looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "That's impossible," they said. "You'll never make it." But that was exactly the challenge I wanted. I didn't have a detailed plan, just a restless curiosity and a pull toward this enormous secretive country. I wanted to see what would happen if I let go of certainty and embrace the unknown. My budget was tight, but that was the point, to see if travel could still be a true adventure, not just a checklist of sights and souvenirs. $700 had to cover everything. My bed for the night, every meal, every bus ticket, and every little exploration. No fancy hotels, no guided tours, no safety net, just me, my backpack, and the open road. I packed only the essentials: a change of clothes, a notebook, a camera, and a sense of adventure. Every item had to earn its place. This constraint felt like a key, not a lock. It would force me to connect with the real Kazakhstan, beyond the glossy brochures and tourist traps. I wanted to see the country as it truly is, through the eyes of the people who call it home. I wanted to meet people, hear their stories, and learn about their lives. I wanted to taste food I couldn't pronounce, try dishes I'd never heard of, and discover flavors that would surprise me. And I wanted to feel the wind on the steppe, to stand in the middle of nowhere and realize how small I am in this vast world. The plane ticket was my biggest expense. Once I landed, the real challenge began. Could I stretch my budget and my courage far enough? Could I really do it? The uncertainty was part of the magic, the thrill that made my heart race as I stepped off the plane. It was the promise of a story waiting to be written, one of discovery, surprise, and finding riches that have nothing to do with money. I was searching for moments that would stay with me long after the journey ended. My adventure into the unknown had begun, and I was ready to see where this $700 dare would take me. My journey began in Almaty, a vibrant city nestled at the foot of the majestic Tian Shan Mountains. As the sun rose, the peaks glowed with a soft pink light, promising new adventures and unforgettable memories. The city was alive with energy. Tree-lined avenues stretched out before me, families strolled hand in hand, and everywhere I looked there was a gentle, welcoming spirit in the air. The blend of old Soviet architecture and modern cafes created a unique charm that was both comforting and exciting. On my very first morning, a young student noticed me looking lost at a bus stop. With a warm smile and the help of a translation app, she guided me to the right bus, patiently explaining the route. To my surprise, she even paid my fare, insisting it was a Kazakh tradition to help newcomers. That small act of kindness was my first taste of Kazakh hospitality, and it set the tone for the days to come. My guest house was run by Gulnara, a warm-hearted woman who treated every guest like family. Each morning, she left out plates of homemade barsak, fluffy fried bread, and sweet jam in the kitchen, inviting everyone to start their day with a taste of home. We spoke in smiles, gestures, and simple words, but I always felt utterly looked after. Even without a shared language, her kindness was unmistakable, making me feel safe and welcome. Exploring Almaty was a joy. I wandered through the leafy paths of Panfilov Park, marveled at the colorful wooden Zenkov Cathedral, and lost myself in the lively chaos of the Green Bazaar, where every corner held a new discovery. At the bazaar, friendly vendors offered me samples of smoked cheese and dried apricots, turning every purchase into a conversation. Their laughter and stories made me feel like a part of the community, even if just for a moment. Food was a language everyone understood. Sharing a meal, even with strangers, created instant connections and lasting memories. In Almaty, I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt like a welcome wanderer, blending into the rhythm of daily life and finding comfort in the city's gentle embrace. The city's gentle spirit and the warmth of its people made it easy to call this place a temporary home, even as a newcomer. My adventure was off to a beautiful start, and I couldn't wait to see what other surprises Almaty had in store for me. As lovely as Almaty was with its vibrant energy and cosmopolitan flair, I felt a pull towards something wilder and more untamed. I craved the wild spaces that truly define Kazakhstan, the endless horizons, the raw beauty, and the sense of freedom that comes with open land stretching as far as the eye can see. So, I joined a shared taxi bound for Charyn Canyon. As we left the city behind, the landscape transformed dramatically, shifting from bustling streets to endless golden steppe, dotted with grazing animals and the occasional distant yurt. Our driver strummed haunting melodies on his dombra, the traditional Kazakh instrument, as we passed herds of wild horses galloping freely across the plains, a scene that felt almost timeless. Arriving at Charyn Canyon, I was awestruck. The canyon's dramatic red sandstone towers rose against a brilliant blue sky, carved by wind and water over millennia. The silence was profound, broken only by the whisper of the wind. I found a quiet ledge, let my feet dangle over the edge, and just breathed in the vastness. In that moment, I felt a deep, pure peace, a connection to the land that words can barely describe. My journey continued to Sati village, a charming rural community nestled at the foot of the mountains and known as the gateway to the Kolsai Lakes. I stayed with a local family whose hospitality was legendary. My room was simple, but the welcome was royal. Shared meals around a low table, endless cups of strong tea, and laughter that filled the house, especially from the children who were eager to share stories and games. Each day, I hiked through fragrant pine forests, the air crisp and clean, until I reached a turquoise lake so pristine and still it mirrored the snow-dusted peaks above. Local families gathered along the shore, spreading blankets for picnics, their laughter and playful shouts echoing across the water, adding warmth to the wild beauty. This was the Kazakhstan I'd always dreamed of, epic landscapes alive with the joy and spirit of its people, where every moment felt like a celebration of nature and life. The natural beauty was immense, but it was the quiet, simple moments in the countryside, the slow mornings, the gentle conversations, the sense of belonging that truly captured my heart. Here, in these wild and welcoming places, I found the true soul of the country, a spirit both powerful and serene, forever etched in my memory. The real treasures of Kazakhstan weren't things, they were conversations. Waiting for a bus, an elderly man played his dombra, the music carrying the soul of the steppe. Through a translator, he shared stories of heroes, love, and nomadic life. He told me, a guest is a gift from God, a belief I saw in action every day. In a roadside cafe, the owner, Igul, served me plov and shared photos of her children. We connected over food and family, despite the language barrier. These moments taught me more than any guidebook, the importance of family, respect for elders, and the power of community. In a world that often feels divided, I found a place where human connection mattered most. It was in these simple, unguarded moments that I truly felt the heartbeat of Kazakhstan. No adventure is without its challenges, and mine had plenty of unexpected ones. The language barrier was my biggest hurdle. Ordering a train ticket became a comedy of gestures and confused smiles. Once I got lost in Shymkent's quiet suburbs, my phone dead, panic rising with every unfamiliar street. But every time, a helping hand appeared. A young man translated at the station, refusing payment, simply saying, "Welcome to Kazakhstan." When I was lost, a grandmother took me in, gave me bread and water, and called her English-speaking grandson to help me out. Her kindness turned my fear into gratitude and comfort. These hurdles never broke my spirit, they only deepened my faith in people and their generosity. Even when lost, I was never truly alone on this journey. Before I left, I pictured Kazakhstan as empty and austere, still shadowed by its Soviet past. I was wrong. The steppe is alive, a sea of grass, wildflowers, and roaming herds. Beyond it, snow-capped mountains, emerald lakes, and dramatic canyons. The city surprised me too. Futuristic buildings, parks, street art, and a youthful energy. Kazakhstan isn't stuck in the past. It's confidently striding into the future, while honoring its heritage. But the greatest surprise was the people. Open, generous, and endlessly kind. Hospitality here isn't just custom, it's a way of life. From students to families, kindness was constant and unconditional. Kazakhstan is a country with a warm, beating heart. As my journey ended, I realized my $700 had bought me something priceless. I was leaving behind a country that had captured my soul with its beauty and kindness. Kazakhstan is a land of contradictions, ancient traditions and futuristic dreams, silent steppe, and buzzing cities. My tight budget became my greatest gift, forcing me to connect and trust. To anyone dreaming of real adventure, go to Kazakhstan. Go with an open heart, ready to be surprised. Don't worry about language or money. Let the journey unfold. Eat the food, accept the tea, and allow yourself to get a little lost. You'll find a country of staggering beauty and people whose generosity will restore your faith in the world. Thank you for letting me share this piece of my heart. The spirit of the steppe is calling. One day, I hope you'll answer.